I think it was sent to through RBI Retail Direct Scheme and Integrated Ombudsman Scheme. RBI Retail Direct Scheme. Retail Direct Scheme and an ombudsman. Ombudsman is not a big thing, but anyhow, I'll come to that. See, you are all know the Reserve Bank of India and the issuance of different bonds by the Reserve Bank of India. Actually, it was issued by the Government of India on behalf of, issued by the Reserve Bank of India on behalf of Government of India. G-SECs we call it as government securities, or we can call it as a gilt-edged securities. That means the guarantee is given by the sovereign. In that we were having two bills, treasury bills and dated securities. Treasury bills and dated securities. When I say treasury bills, what are the different type of treasury bills? Dated security means greater than 1 year. Okay. Why Government of India is issuing these bonds? Why Government of India is issuing these bonds, treasury bills and dated securities? Because government needs money. Government needs money. In the budget, you know the fiscal deficit, no? Fiscal deficit. What is the fiscal deficit for this year? 6%, around 6%. 12 lakh crore we are going to take it as a loan. I already told you last year, the moment when I say fiscal deficit as a loan, don't think like it's a foreign loan. The foreign loan component is always very low. It's all domestic loan. Through this we will take. Through these bonds we will take. Government issue the bond and they will take some money. Likewise, they will issue. Now the problem is, till now, government issues these bonds only to the institutional investors. Institutional investors. Institutional investors in the sense, banks, mutual funds, insurance companies, like that. Institutional investor means he's an institute. He can invest in a huge amount of money. That is why always I used to say, whenever you say repo, reverse repo, or these bills, don't think like individuals will get an opportunity to take these bills. Only institutional investors will have an opportunity to take these bills. Now what happened is, we have made this process into retail. That means like you and me also can invest in these treasury bills. Anyway, the denomination comes down. In the rules and regulation, they will mention. The present denomination is around 5 crore and more. Can an individual invest 5 crore into government bond? No, it's not possible. Only institutes can do that. But now we wanted to make it a retail. Retail in the sense, every citizen of this country can invest in this, can invest in this. Now, how you will invest? How you will invest? How you will invest? There is an account called direct gilt account. Direct gilt account, DGA. DGA. We will open this account with Reserve Bank of India. We will open this account with Reserve Bank of India. We will open this account with Reserve Bank of India. Now there are two things through which we will invest. One is through primary market. Second one is through secondary market. When I say secondary market, Don't getting into that SEBI and all. Don't getting into that SEBI and all. That's a different. It is for the stock, share or debentures. But you are aware the primary market in the sense when the issuer, when the original issuer is issuing, if you are subscribed to that, it is primary. Once it is getting into the hands of somebody, if you are purchasing from that person through an institute, that is secondary. You are aware about this fact. Now, primary means whenever Reserve Bank of India issues, you will be subscribed to that. Now, the people who are already subscribed to that, if they want to sell to somebody, that will be happened in the secondary market. And it is happened in a platform called NDSOM. NDSOM. What is this NDSOM? Negotiated Dealing System, Order Matching System. Have you got this NDSOM? Did you see NDSOM anywhere? Negotiated Dealing System, Order Matching System. Have you seen this NDSOM anywhere? No. The students who are participating in an online mode, have you seen this NDSOM anywhere?
No, sir.
In this prelims, you got question on this NDSOM. Are you aware about that? In this prelims, you got the question on this NDSOM. There was a question on Reserve Bank of India. In that one statement is referring to this NDSOM. It's a secondary market instrument started by Reserve Bank of India through which you can purchase and sell some of the securities. Did you get? So, had this reform was brought earlier, probably you might get a question in, you might be correct, you might do some answer, one answer in correct in prelims. But anyhow, so NDSOM is a secondary market system developed by the Reserve Bank of India. Actually, it was started in 2005, through which you can purchase these direct, you can purchase these treasury bills or dated securities in an online mode in a secondary market. So there are two options. One is primary and secondary. Now, why actually government is doing this? Why actually government is doing this? Government is saying we want to democratize. We want to democratize the existing bond system. We wanted to democratize the existing bond system. Democratizing means what? Involving every person into this activity. Involving every person into this activity. Now, every person can directly come and directly invest in this treasury bills or dated securities according to the denomination. Moreover, the government is so interested in involving the people directly into the developmental activities. Government want to start a new project, it needs money. Now it can issue the bonds directly to the people and they can collect money from the public. Now the government needs lot of money. Governments need lot of money because you are aware, like this national investment pipeline they have started. They wanted to invest 111 lakh crore on investments. That is what the agenda of the present government. You need money, you need lot of money. From where you will bring? There are lot of other sources because budgeting through the union government, budgeting through the state government, monetization of assets, the privatization, taking the loans from the foreign countries. Many avenues are there. This is one of the avenue to source the upcoming infrastructural projects in this country. And one more thing, generally, if a bank is sitting with some money, if the government issues these securities, if everything is purchased by the banks, then most of the bank's money will entering into the coffers of the government. Now, from where the private investors in this country has to get their investment? Because they also need the money. If suddenly some private investor comes to you and I'm starting a new investment project, so I'm issuing a bond, as a common man, will you purchase? No, you don't purchase, because you don't have a faith on that company or that investor. But if it is a government bond, no, then definitely you will invest, because it is guaranteed by the sovereign. It is guaranteed by the sovereign. And if the government goes to the public for that amount of money, then private investors can comfortably have their investment from the banking system, so that it can reduce the pressure on the private people. If the government completely takes away the money from the bank by issuing the bonds, then where is the scope for the private investors? That is also one serious issue we need to consider. So it is democratizing the process, it allowing the people to directly involving in the developmental operations. Moreover, it is helping a lot to the private investors, as the government is collecting their money directly from the public. The institutes can give it as a loan to the private investors also. That is one of the motto behind this. Okay. Now, the second one is integrated ombudsman system. Integrated ombudsman system. Integrated ombudsman system. See, it's a simple fact, no concept, nothing. Actually, ombudsman is for what? For resolving any redressal. Okay, if you have any problem. Earlier, we have 3 different ombudsman schemes. Now we have combined it. We have created only single ombudsman system. The 3 ombudsman system which are present earlier were banking ombudsman scheme, banking ombudsman scheme, banking ombudsman scheme of 2016. This was first one. Second one is ombudsman scheme for NBFCs. Ombudsman scheme for NBFCs, non-banking financial companies, 2018. Third one is ombudsman scheme for digital transactions. Ombudsman scheme for digital transactions. It was in 2019. So these were the 3 different ombudsman scheme. If you have a grievance with the banking system, you have to go to somewhere. If you have a grievance with the NBFCs, you have to go to another platform. If you have a grievance with the digital transactions, you have to go to the another ombudsman. We have combined these 3 and we have created a unified platform. Unified platform. Who are doing this? Reserve Bank of India is doing this. Both the activities done by the Reserve Bank of India. The important point just I want to mention here is, from where Reserve Bank of India draws this power, from where Reserve Bank of India draws this power to create a regulating unified agency, to create a unified regulatory agency, from where it has drawn its powers. Which legislation is giving that power to Reserve Bank of India? That is important. Here there are 3 acts. First one is, anyway, Reserve Bank of India Act. Reserve Bank of India Act 1934, section 45, no need of any section. Reserve Bank of India Act of 1934 is giving some power. So, 1934. Second one is Banking Regulation Act. There was a question on this Banking Regulation Act in the prelims. It was about urban cooperative societies. They were actually brought in 1969. Recently, it was amended in such a way that they can control the urban cooperative banks in a strict manner. Banking Regulation Act of 1949. Next, Payment and Settlement Act of 2007. Payment and Settlement Act. Payment and Settlement Act 2007. Payment and Settlement Act 2007. 2007. Now the fourth one is no, these are the three. Sorry. So under these three legislation, Reserve Bank of India has drawn a power, and with that power, they have arranged this unified agency. Please remember these three. These three. Okay. And it also includes non-scheduled primary cooperative banks. Non-scheduled primary cooperative banks whose deposits are greater than 50 crore. Whose deposits are greater than 50 crore. I think you are aware what is a non-scheduled bank, which is not mentioned under the second schedule of Reserve Bank of India Act. Okay. And this system, the government has called it as One Nation, One Ombudsman. One Nation, One Ombudsman. So is it clear? Is it clear? So that is what the retail direct scheme recently announced by the government, and also creating a unified ombudsman scheme.
Amrita IAS Academy.